Hello everyone, I am Clara Bennett, 82 years old this year, living in an old two-story wooden house in the small town of Birchwood, Wisconsin. I greet you from my familiar armchair right by the window overlooking the backyard where I used to plant tomatoes with Walter for so many years. Today I sit here holding a cup of strong black coffee and decide to tell you a heartfelt story. Not the kind of fluffy story to give advice, but my own story. An old American lady who once thought she was just fine until she almost lost everything just because she was living alone after her husband passed away. Walter and I lived together for 51 years. He left us on one afternoon in June 2018, a sudden heart attack right in the middle of us watching a baseball game on TV. He was still joking with me about the Indians losing the game, then he went silent forever. I remember clearly, I sat there hugging him, tears falling onto his shoulder, my mouth muttering, "Don't joke, Walt, don't joke." After the funeral, my daughter flew back to Texas. My son went back to California. Friends gradually drifted away, and I was left alone in this house, 76 years old, never having lived alone a single day in my life. I told myself, "Clara, you used to be a car mechanic. You used to climb ladders to fix the roof. You can do everything." I was wrong as hell. The first 3 months I still tried to act strong. I cooked, did laundry, paid bills, even drove to the market like before. But living alone isn't about can you do it or not. It's about what if one day you can't do it anymore? And that day came without warning. I remember clearly that morning in September that year. I woke up at 5:30 like every day, planning to go out to the backyard to water the rose bushes Walter planted. I stepped down the old wooden stairs. My left leg suddenly went numb. I slipped and tumbled down the last 5 steps. My head hit the railing hard, blood flowing steadily. I lay there, unable to stand up, my mouth groaning, "Damn it, why are you so old now?" The phone was on the kitchen table, exactly 12 meters away from me. I lay still, listening to the birds singing in the garden, thinking to myself, no one knows I'm lying here. My neighbor, Mr. Miller, next door, was still asleep. My kids were halfway across America. I lay there for nearly 4 hours, blood clotting on the wooden floor, my mind drifting in and out of consciousness. It was only when Mr. Miller happened to go out to the yard and saw my back door still wide open that he ran over. He shouted when he saw me, "Clara, oh my God, are you still alive?" The ambulance came. The doctor said if it had been 1 more hour, I would have been at risk of brain hemorrhage. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days, staring at the stark white ceiling and thinking, this is how people lose their homes, not because they're poor, but because no one knows they're in trouble. When I got home, I sat in this armchair, holding a glass of water, and asked myself for the first time, "Clara, what do you need to live alone without dying alone?" I started taking notes, not in some pretty notebook, but the lessons I paid for with blood and tears. And I realized there are exactly 10 things, not luxuries, not money, but the things that really keep you in your home instead of a nursing home. I will tell you each one because I learned them in the most painful way. The first thing, you need a life check system that doesn't require you to speak up for help. Not an expensive alarm bell, not surveillance cameras. Mr. Miller and I made a simple agreement. Every morning at 7:15, I turn on the porch light. If it's still off by 8 o'clock, he will knock on the door. If I don't open it, he uses the spare key I gave him earlier. That's all. It doesn't make me feel monitored, but it ensures that if I fall again, I won't lie on the floor for 4 hours. Have you ever thought that just a small action like turning a light on and off could save your life? I have. and I'm grateful to Mr. Miller every day. After that fall, I started to get more scared. I realized the second thing. Your brain, when living alone, will become overloaded. There's no Walter reminding, Clara, have you taken your blood pressure medicine yet? No one checking if a bill got paid twice. I once took double the dose of my diabetes medicine just because I forgot I had already taken it that morning. I once sat in front of the TV for 3 hours without remembering if I had eaten lunch. I bought a whiteboard and hung it right next to the kitchen. Every morning I write the date, medicines taken, meals, tasks done. Sounds stupid, right? But it saved me from accidentally poisoning myself with medicine. Have you ever forgotten what day it is today? I have, and the whiteboard has become my best friend. The third thing is the one I hated the most at first. A separate fund just for fun. Not emergency money, not hospital money, not money to leave for the kids. Just money so Clara Bennett can still be Clara Bennett, not some survival machine. The first year I cut everything. No good coffee, no baseball tickets, no new books. I just existed. My daughter called on video and said, Mom, you look like you're waiting to die. That sentence hurt me. I started setting aside $40 each month. The first month I bought a new rocking chair for the backyard. I sat there watching the sunset, crying like rain because I realized I still deserved happiness. The next month I bought tickets to watch the Indians, now the Guardians, play. I screamed like a 20-year-old girl when they won. Folks, don't wait until it's too late to let yourself be happy. The fourth thing is the if I can't speak anymore file. I used to think I would remember everything. What medicines, what allergies, what Walter wanted me to do if I went into a coma. But when I was in the hospital the second time after falling down the stairs, I couldn't say a single sentence. The doctor had to guess. When I got home, I made a red metal box, taped it on the fridge. Inside were copies of insurance, updated medicine lists, kids' phone numbers, and a handwritten letter I wrote. If I'm unconscious, call my daughter first. Don't let the hospital decide on its own. Now, whenever the paramedics arrive, they find that box within 30 seconds. It doesn't make me weak. It lets me stay in control of myself. The fifth thing is the emergency button I can wear. I hated it at first. I thought it was for real old people. But after the hospital stay, I bought a necklace with a button. Just press hard. It calls Mr. Miller right away, calls my daughter, and calls the emergency center. I wear it 24/7. Even when showering, I haven't used it once. But just knowing it's there, I sleep much better. Have you ever thought that admitting you need help is exactly the way to keep your freedom? I'm telling this, and my hands are still shaking, because what happened next is the worst part. After setting up the first 5 things, I thought I was safe. I started to feel more confident, even joked with Mr. Miller that this old lady is now like James Bond. But the body doesn't joke. In April the next year, I started feeling dizzy every time I stood up. I told myself it was just low blood pressure, just old age. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't tell anyone. I kept climbing the ladder to fix the rain gutter because it was about to rain hard. That was the biggest mistake of my life. That afternoon it poured down. I was on the ladder, hammer in hand, when the dizziness hit harder than ever. I fell from more than 3 meters high, slamming my back onto the concrete backyard. I heard the clear sound of bones cracking. The pain was so bad I couldn't breathe. I lay there in the rain, rainwater mixing with blood, the emergency necklace stuck under my back so I couldn't reach the button. I screamed, but the rain drowned it out. I thought, this time I'm really going to die, Clara. I lay there for 2.5 hours, freezing, in pain, and horrified, realizing that even with the 5 things before, If I wasn't honest with my own body, then every system was useless. Luckily, Mr. Miller heard the hammer drop earlier. He ran over and saw me. He yelled, "Clara, what the hell are you doing again, you crazy old lady?" The ambulance came again. The hospital said I broke 2 vertebrae in my back, nearly paralyzed from the waist down. That was the climax. I lay in the hospital bed, looking at the rain outside the window, and cried. Not from the pain, but because I realized I had almost lost everything just because of my pride. When I got home this time, I knew I had to change for real. I was no longer the old Clara. I had to become the new Clara, an old lady who listens to her body. I started the 6th thing, renovating the house to fit my current body, not the body of Mrs. Clara from 50 years ago. I hired workers to remove all the high shelves in the kitchen, move everything down to arm's reach. I installed handrails along the hallway and in the bathroom. I replaced the old wooden stairs with metal stairs with non-slip feet. I bought a stool with a backrest to sit and chop vegetables. I even installed motion sensor lights that turn on automatically when I walk into a room. The house no longer fought me anymore. It became my companion. The 7th thing is the harshest honesty. I promised myself, every time there's a strange symptom, dizziness, chest pain, numb hands, I will call the doctor right away, no delaying, no self-diagnosing. I no longer pretend it's just old age. I record every conversation with the doctor on my phone to listen back later. I even ask the nurse to explain again 3 times if I don't understand. The 8th thing is daily habits to anchor myself to reality. Every morning at 6:45, rain or shine, I still go out to the front porch for coffee, listening to the local radio station, read the news. Just 15 minutes, but it reminds me that a new day has begun. I'm still here, still choosing to live. On days I wanted to stay in bed because my back hurt, I still dragged myself out to the porch. That habit saved me from feeling like I was floating aimlessly. The 9th thing is what surprised me the most. Finding ways to connect with something bigger without needing other people beside me. I started writing handwritten letters to Walter every week. Not to send, just to write and tell him what I did today, how much I miss him. I also started listening to the old songs we used to dance to at the dance floor in 1972. I planted more flowers, named each one like Walt Rose, Clara Gold. Those small things made me no longer feel lonely to the point of terror. And the 10th thing, the hardest, the one I'm still learning every day, is knowing to ask for help before everything collapses. Not when I've already fallen, not when I've already broken bones, but while I'm still standing firm, I call Mr. Miller to change the light bulb before I climb the ladder. I call my daughter to help transfer money before the bill is overdue. I call the doctor when I'm just a little dizzy. Every time I do that, I feel stronger, not weaker. You see, those 10 things are not miracles. They didn't stop me from falling, didn't stop me from hurting, but they turned an old lady who almost died twice into an old lady who is still sitting here, still drinking coffee, still looking out at the backyard and smiling. I'm still in this house, still independent, still Clara Bennett. Not because I'm a superhero, but because I built systems to protect myself when I was at my weakest. And now, after telling all 9 things, I'm about to tell you the 11th thing, something I've never told anyone. And now, after telling all 9 things, I'm about to tell you the 11th thing, something I've never told anyone, not even my daughter. That is the courage to admit that I am no longer the old Clara from before and to tell this story to everyone. It sounds simple, but it is the hardest thing. After the fall from the ladder in April 2019, I stayed in the hospital for 2.5 weeks. My back had 2 broken vertebrae, had to wear a hard brace. Every cough felt like needle stabbing. Dr. Ramirez, the Mexican guy from Wisconsin, sat by my bed and said bluntly, "Mrs. Bennett, you are very lucky. Next time you won't be so lucky. You have to change, not halfway." I lay there looking at him, tears pouring out, my mouth muttering, "I know, you bastard, I know." When I got home, Mr. Miller pushed my wheelchair into the living room. The house looked completely different now. The new handrails sparkled under the lights. The kitchen had been rearranged lower. The stool for chopping vegetables sat right in the corner. I looked around and for the first time didn't see the house as an enemy anymore. It was an ally. I started applying those 10 things thoroughly. Every morning at 7:15, I still turned on the porch light, even though I could only drag myself a few meters. Mr. Miller still checked, but now he brought a hot cup of coffee and sat chatting with me for 10 minutes. It was no longer a life check anymore, but real friendship. The 10th thing, the one I used to hate bitterly, now became a habit. Asking for help before everything collapses. I don't wait until the light bulb burns out to call. I call Mr. Miller to change it 3 days before. I don't wait until the bill is overdue to ask my daughter to transfer money. I call her on video and say, "Honey, Mom needs you to help check the account this month. Mom is a little dizzy." The first time I said that, my daughter cried on the other end in Texas. She said, "Mom, I've been waiting for you to say that for so long." I chuckled through tears. "Well, Mom has been waiting for you to hear Mom say that for so long too, you silly." From then on, I asked for help, like calling friends for a beer. Not weak, but smart. I lay in the armchair for 2 whole months, not able to walk much. But I still kept the 8th habit. Every morning at 6:45, even when my back hurt so much I had to grit my teeth, I still dragged myself out to the front porch, sat in the new rocking chair, drank strong black coffee, listened to the local radio station, read the baseball news. Some days it was drizzling. I still sat there under the porch roof, jacket soaked, because I knew if I missed one day, I would drift away. That habit kept me alert more than painkillers. I ask you, do you have any small daily habit that anchors you to life? If not, create one before it's too late. During the days I lay immobile, I also practiced the 9th thing more thoroughly. I wrote more letters to Walter. Not one a week anymore, but one every evening. I told him how I renovated the kitchen, told him how I almost died because of pride, told him I bought tickets to watch the Guardians play even though I had to sit in a wheelchair. I even started doodling small pictures of the backyard garden. Not pretty, but they were mine. Each one I signed Clara and Walt 2020. Those things made me feel connected to something bigger than myself, even though the house had only me. Have you ever tried writing a letter to someone who's passed away? Try it. It doesn't heal all the pain, but it makes the pain easier to bear. Then one afternoon in July, when I had taken off the back brace, I decided to do the 11th thing, the one I kept secret. I sat down at the kitchen table, opened the old computer my son bought me the year before, and started writing this whole story. Not to show off, but to warn. I wrote about the stairfall, about lying under the rain for 2 hours, about the fear of dying alone with no one knowing. I wrote about the 10 things and the 11th too. I posted it in a Facebook group for seniors in Wisconsin. Just a few days later, the first message came. A lady named Betty in Milwaukee wrote, "Mrs. Clara, I'm 79 years old, also living alone after my husband died. I turned on the porch light, like you said. Today I slept much better." I cried. Then Mr. Chester in Kentucky messaged, "I finished reading. I made the whiteboard right away. I almost took double the diabetes medicine last week. Thank you." Each message was a punch to my chest, but a good punch. I realized telling the story isn't shameful. It's how I repay those times I almost died. My daughter found out and called on video yelling, "Mom, what are you doing? People will think our family is helpless." I laughed loud. "Honey, helpless is lying under the rain for 2 hours, unable to call for help. Now Mom is saving other people." She went quiet and said softly, "I'm proud of you, Mom." From then on, I kept writing, one section a week. I told more about other small mistakes, like the time I almost missed my eye appointment because I thought, it's no big deal. Thanks to the notebook system, I caught it and went in time. The doctor said if I waited one more month, I would have been at risk of partial blindness. I tell you so you don't repeat it. Don't wait until your eyes blur to go get checked. Don't wait until bills pile up to ask your kids. Don't wait until you fall to install handrails. Now, I'm 82 years old. I still live in this 2-story wooden house in Birchwood. The backyard still has Walter's rose bushes, even though I have to hire the neighbor boy to water them. I still drive to the market, but only in town, not far anymore. I still watch baseball, still drink good coffee every morning, still move flower pots. Oh no, now I move a small blue porcelain vase that my daughter sent. Mr. Miller still watches from his kitchen window. Life isn't perfect. My back still hurts every time it rains. Some days, I still forget the date and have to look at the whiteboard. But I'm not scared anymore. I changed for real. From a proud old lady who pretended I'm fine to an old lady who knows where she's weak and dares to say it. I'm no longer lonely, even though the house has only me, because I have systems, have friends, have kids, and have all of you, the people reading my story here. Every morning when I wake up, I still thank heaven and earth for still being in my own home, not a nursing home. I'm grateful for the emergency button around my neck, grateful for the whiteboard, grateful for Mr. Miller, grateful for even the falls that taught me the lessons. Folks, if you are also living alone after losing your life partner or preparing for that day, listen to me. Don't wait until you're lying on the floor to act. Build those 10 things right now. And the 11th, be brave and tell your story. Someone needs to hear it. Someone is about to fall like me. What would you think if one day you fell in the bathroom and no one knew for 6 hours? What would you do differently right now? And if you have ever almost lost everything because of living alone, what is the biggest lesson you learned? Answer me in your heart. One more thing. If my story touches you, please comment below a simple sentence. I will start from the first thing. I read them all. And if you find it helpful, please like and subscribe so I can keep telling other true stories about other old American ladies who are also fighting every day to keep their homes. We are old, but we are not dead yet. We are still here. Take care of yourself, folks. I'm still sitting here, still drinking coffee, still waiting for messages from you.